All right, folks, we are on a countdown. We are about 30 seconds away from the Dev AMA.
All right. How's everyone doing? Hope we're good. So welcome once more to another Dev chat. It's a bit different this week. We're going to be working on some Dev goals. Forgive me, just pushing last minute change, which we'll talk about in a little moment. So hope everyone's good. I hope you're all getting your questions in. I've had a bunch of stuff forwarded to me from Fitos already, so that's always great. Thanks, dude. If you're in here, I've not looked who's in the chat yet. Fitos, I see you. Good to see you. So the way we're going to do this is the way we normally do this, is we're going to recap on the week that's been, and then we'll start getting into what's coming up. Then we will do our vote on the new development slot that's just opened up, or will be opening up from tomorrow. And then we will put aside 20 minutes to answer questions and just go through some things as well. So just to be clear, guys, it might be a little bit longer than it normally is because we've got a bit to get through. So I'm going to start like I normally do. Let me just pop this down, and I'm going to start forwarding in some figures. One thing I will say straight away, we've seen strong numbers again on Reddit. I mean, people hate on Reddit quite a lot sometimes, but we're seeing good numbers continue to hold up. So I'm just going to drop that in. I'm showing you the past 30 days, and then that way we can kind of keep an eye on how it's looking over the next 30 days. So let's drop that in. So good news is that we're still getting positive on all the figures. So we're obviously publishing more content. We're obviously getting more comments. We're getting more members. I think 11 new members joined in the last 30 days, which is good. We're getting unique visits as well, probably those new members. So it looks like we've got 11 joined from 10 unique visitors. So I would imagine then that, people who are coming to the page are actually joining, which is good news. Just going to give me a moment while I just get the stuff ready for where are we? I just want to get you the figures for X as well. A little bit unprepared tonight in terms of getting the figures together. Please bear with me. It's been a busy day. As you can imagine, we've got a deployment tomorrow. And yet again, we're sticking with the retro gaming soundtrack today. So if it's too loud, let me know. Or if it's not loud enough. So I'm just looking for the figures from Twitter. So I'm just going to, there goes my screen. All right, so we've got some positivity again coming in from our Twitter side of things. I'm just going to drop that in and then we can discuss it. So as you can see, we're continuing to hold up on impressions, engagement rate. In fact, everything is up except for likes, reposts, and shares. So we've not had any shares, which is a bit of a shame, but we're still showing that we've got strong engagement. We've got people looking at our profile now, so nearly 50% up on profile visits, which for me is the most important thing, because obviously when they go to our profile, they're going to come across our hold on, let me get that music playing again. Yeah, so they're going to come across our links to our website, our smart contracts and stuff like that. So profile visits are the crucial one for me there. Let me see. And now just coming back to Reddit, I just want to take a look at the post that we made the other day. So another thing as well, we had positive interaction from the community with the meme of the week, which will be going again from tomorrow. So after this call, I'll be dropping it again. So we're going to host that meme challenge. So those of you who like that sort of thing, get loading up on your memes. That's coming. So the winner was obviously Lexi Law, won the last one. So let's see if we can get that going again and maybe get a few more people involved. All right, so looking at what was left to do from last week. So obviously we was to finish up the base implementation of LeetLotto and work towards getting LeetLotto deployed tomorrow. So LeetLotto is still going to be deployed tomorrow. There's a slight hiccup on one of the base chain integrations, which is Chainlink. They updated their verifiable random number system. So basically the way our smart contracts work, once we create the lottery, that's as far as the admin interaction goes with the lottery. So it's completely verifiable, it's completely random, it's completely on-chain. And the way we do this is we integrate something called Chainlink. You can check them out, they're an awesome project. And in fact, I think the US government are doing work with them now as well. So that's good for everything, I guess. But essentially what we do is we get our verified random number from them to choose the winner. Then that way, again, we're not involved in picking the winners of the lottos. However, since the last deployment, they've changed the way VRF works. So for the base chain deployment, we have to change the contracts slightly to work with the new VRF. So it's a bit crappy that we can't deploy on base right away from tomorrow. But what we are deploying from tomorrow is completely revamped UI. It's much more intuitive. There's now comments in each lotto. There's comments on the actual homepage. We've built out a lightweight comment system. So this is going to go system-wide. We're actually, I'm saying it's been something that I've been working on for a little while now. We're going to be deploying new UI over the course of the year as we build out these new features and refine existing features. We're going to be rolling it out with a slightly new style, which is looking a little bit better. So LeetLotto will be the first to get that, and that comes tomorrow. So with LeetLotto, you can expect brand new UI, better implementation of the smart contracts. The chat system is going to go live, so you can actually talk on the individual lottos or on the main page to try and drive that kind of momentum. So when I approached the rebuild of this, when I approached the rebuild of LeetLotto, I wanted to try and encourage interaction. So a bit of I don't think hype is the right word, but I guess it's the best I can come up with. I wanted to, when a user lands on the page, I want to put lotteries front and center. So right now, if you look at the page, it's pretty sucky. And the biggest portion of the page is taken up by one kind of card. And it's not even a lottery. Obviously, it's a temporary page right now till tomorrow. But what you're going to get from tomorrow is lotteries as soon as you load, and a live conversation, so that it encourages people to talk, get involved, chat, and it's a bit like a stream chat basically, and that's going to be dropped into every single lottery as well. We can in the future add some rules around those chats, like you have to have entered the lottery to talk in them. That could be something we do, but I don't think it's necessary. I think the idea is to open up the system as much as possible to get people interacting with it. So that comes tomorrow, and the base chain contracts, hopefully I can get that integrated maybe tomorrow. It might launch with base, but if not, base will be hot on its heels. There's a whole new icon system going out with it. The way you filter through lotteries is much more intuitive now. You can see much more detail. It's going to be pretty nice. Okay, so that's that. And also, we've submitted an application to Streamlabs to have the GMR Center streaming platform whitelisted so that you can use Streamlabs to multi-stream. Now, I did mention last week, don't hold your hopes up, because I know that Streamlabs are very selective. And although we've got ambition on this channel and we want to see things take off, right now, our numbers might not be in the region where they might accept us. So with that in mind, I've been building our own client. So basically a lightweight wrapper around OBS. OBS is really cool, by the way. It's open source. They expose their API in a really cool way. So I've been building out an Electron app. So basically a dedicated, our version, if you like, of Streamlabs, but it'll only be for GMR, of course. And in the future, who knows, maybe we can actually add more platforms as well, if that is something other people want to do. Obviously, it will allow you to connect to the various platforms like YouTube and so forth, and one moment, and Twitch, of course. So let me just bring that back. So basically what I've done is I've made the application to Streamlabs, but I don't want to rely on that. So I'm in the home stretch of getting that little lightweight client wrapped up, and then we will be able to add it to the game center for you to download and multi-stream from there. Okay, so the delete channel button, that was something that was an ad hoc development. That was something that I said that I would get done. And I believe if you go there now, you'll be able to delete your channels. It should be live. It might not be live for some people because it's something that I was working on today after I finished my main work of building out OBS, actually. So I'm going to test that right now, live on no stream, because we're not streaming. We should definitely move this to a stream at some point. So I think, let me see, it should be ready. Create the channel. All right, so while that's working, yep, that's live. So you can delete channels now. If you own a channel, you can go to the channel and you should be able to delete it as well. So that's one thing that we can check off from the ad hoc list. Additionally, CoinMarketCap. So that's one thing that I didn't bring up in our social recap at the beginning. So we've not quite got to where I want it to be in terms of the overall platform score. We're on 87% still. There's a little bit of work we can do on our side. And when I say our side, I mean on the developer side, by just completing a few other fields on the developer console. So they have a self-service developer console. I think Ryan's been working on that over the last couple of weeks. And I think a lot of the score, the profile score, is attributed to that. And obviously the community have been voting as well. I will post the last month token chart. I think it's something that we should also probably be talking about in these conversations, considering we're talking about performance overall. So I think we've got some positive numbers overall in the last month. I don't want to attribute that to any one thing. I just think it's a collective effort plus the market sentiment right now. So it's pretty cool. It's informational only right now because I don't really want to read too much into it. Yeah, and there we go. So, okay, so then in terms of events on Telegram, that was the other thing. We didn't do anything new on Telegram, but we did do something new on Twitter, but we could probably again do more. We ran the meme of the week, which is going to run again from today. But I do think that we need to do much better. And unfortunately, I'm just struggling to find the time with the development schedule right now. So leave that with me. I've got some ideas planned. Also, Ryan has given me access to the platform that allows multi-posting to different platforms. It allows moderators to also create content to be approved by myself to go out as well. So I will log into that later, probably tomorrow now, and get that set up and reach out to Ultimo and speak to the moderator team and see if anyone else is interested in also helping push content to our socials. So there's that as well. All right, so that pretty much brings it up to where we've been over the last week. I will talk about the conversation I had with Ryan and what's going on there as well separately in a moment. But first, I just want to talk about what we can expect over the next week or so. So obviously from tomorrow, LeetLotto is going live with the revamped UI. There will be an email marketing campaign that goes out with it. That's going to go out initially to the people who have signed up to the new platform. So there's around 3,000, nearly 4,000 emails will get sent tomorrow. And then what we will do next week we will send out the emails to the rest of the email list. So all in all, we've accumulated over the course of the project around 30,000 emails. So I think 26,000, when we've stripped out those that are non-genuine or duplicated between the different platforms that we've used. So we've now correlated it, and we've got around 26,000 unique emails. So we'll hit those who have signed up to the GMR Center V2, so over the last year or two, and then we will hit the rest next week. So that's the plan in terms of the initial release. And then from next week, there'll be a series of content going out on social media. Once we've actually got lotteries live and people playing, we'll be able to use some real world data. So the plan with LeetLotto is release tomorrow, BNB chain initially, hopefully on base chain as well, but I can't commit to that right now because there's a little bit of technical work to do on the contracts. Like I said, initial email campaign will go live with it. Next week, we'll hit the rest of the emails, and then begins a social media campaign to raise awareness as well. LeetLotto is one of the most important things that we've got right now at our disposal because it raises funds for the project. There's around 30% kind of markup, if you like, on the prize value for the project. So essentially, if the prize value is 1 BNB, the tickets, let's say there's 10 tickets for a lotto that's got 1 BNB inside, then the tickets would cost 0.13 BNB, which gives the 1 BNB to the winner and 0.3 BNB to the project. So as you can see, this is something that is not only fun and lucrative for the winner, but it's also a vital revenue source for the project. So it's long overdue, but thankfully it's coming tomorrow. And that is part of our key strategy to maintain sustainability and grow the project, which brings me into the discussion around Ryan, the game dev, and what's happening with the games. So first, I just want to address some of the questions that have been mentioned, or points, or some kind of confusion around the game. So in terms of the games and the funding for the games, I think maybe it's a miscommunication in the past. I don't know, but I've spoken to Ryan, and it's the opinion of Ryan that it was made, or at least he did communicate to the community, that the Battle Elite Infected mobile port was paid for in full, and that's what he was referring to when he talks about paid out in full. That does mean that we are still paying for Battle Elite itself. I think the final push is going to cost another $14,000 to see Battle Elite PvP finalized. So we've got a reasonable kind of estimate now in terms of how much money it's going to cost us. I mean, Ryan already knew this, obviously, I just didn't. So apologies that I've not been able to communicate this to you properly in the past. So as it stands, Battle Elite Infected, paid, done, deployed. And they're also doing some remedial work on that in the near future because we need to integrate some new API stuff with it. So, for example, shards and the ability to earn and trade shards in Battle Elite. That is something that they're going to work on as well. In terms of the Battle Elite PvP game, they still need to integrate the API. I've got a call with them now lined up next week, finally, which has been something of a difficult task trying to get arranged. But just to be totally upfront with you guys, there is still bills to pay with that. And we are obviously accumulating funds through the transaction fees, and we are obviously strategizing in terms of maintaining that revenue stream from LeetLotto and paying off the remaining tranche of the game development. So I think all in all, I think that kind of answers the questions that people were asking in terms of the funding situation for the game, whether we've paid it or not, whether there is still payments to be made, if so, how much, and what the plan is to grow the revenue base for the project. So I think the first thing to be totally kind of calm about is that funding in terms of the general project is in good stead. We obviously have bills to pay like every single project. I kind of gave an overview, I think, not too long ago to Fitos in terms of some of the bills that might not be so obvious to a lot of people. There's obviously a lot to take into consideration. We host servers. We have an IPFS node to fund and pay for. We use external services. But the point is that the money that we have in the bank is enough to sustain the project. But we definitely need to ensure that we are growing the revenue. And that's what LeetLotto is part of that picture. Okay, cool. So I'm not sure whether there is any more left to bring you guys up to from the conversation with Ryan, other than the situation with the game devs. And we've now got a call lined up with them next week. And I can bring you up to speed with that when that happens as well. Okay. All right. So now what I want to do is I want to actually probably let's get on with the vote first, and then we can talk about doing the AMA. I think probably a lot of people are here in the chat today because they want to talk about what we're going to develop. So I'm going to be just putting that together right now, some of the options. So just to bear in mind, the way we did this in the past, and we're going to probably do this again today, but we might think of a better way to do it in the future. What we're going to do is I'm going to drop in the chat the refinements from the list that was submitted. Then we're going to vote. The top 4 will go to the final round where we will talk about it. I will talk about my feelings towards it, and then we'll do a final vote. And then we pick, obviously, from that the winner, which will be the development focus for the foreseeable. All right, so just to be clear, the way we develop, we pick 2 slots. One of them can be a new feature, but both of them cannot be a new feature. And right now we're working on 2 new features, LeetLotto and multi-streaming. Multi-streaming is obviously still ongoing, and it looks like we're going to aim for around the 25th for deployment of the client if we don't get anything back from Streamlabs in the meantime. Whereas LeetLotto is going to be deployed tomorrow, so that frees us up. Okay, so I'm just going to curate the list a little bit that I got sent, because some of it has been done already, some of it not. So one moment. And I'm going to work on just removing any brand new features. I'm going to work on removing anything that's already done. All right, so in fact, you know what? I'm actually going to keep in the list the new features so that you can see them, so that you know that request wasn't forgotten. It was just discarded because it's a new feature. So let's get on with that. Send to personal page. There's actually some really obvious wins here as well. Okay. All right. So there's a lot actually to get through. I'm going to number them real quick. I'm going to number them because that's what we are going to be voting with, the numbers. And it's not the most sophisticated system, guys. If it was, then I would not be a developer. I would be a marketer, which probably would suit us quite well right now, I would say. So give me a moment. Nearly done. I should start. Hold on. So these are in no particular order. They're just in the order that I was given them. So this is not an order of preference from myself. I think they're all pretty good. And I would actually say that I might be able to pick off some of these in my spare time if they don't get picked up in the chat. So the post is going to go out. Then what we're going to do is we're going to set a 3-minute timer. And I will then basically just drop in the chat the numbers that you want to prioritize. You can pick 4. And I will weed it down to the last 4. The reason that we're doing this is because there's 8 to choose from, whereas in the past there was only 4. All right, guys, it's there. I'm going to turn the music up. I'm going to let you guys get on with it. We've got 3 minutes. Drop your numbers in. All right, guys, we're down to the last minute. All right, cool. All right, so we've obviously got a standout winner, but I am still going to just spend a moment just to talk about them because I think it's worth talking about some of the others. There was some kind of suggestions in there as well. So I think both Phoenixa and Frank mentioned about new features. So guys, I think both of those new features are really good, and I can definitely start putting stuff around that now in preparation, but we're not going to dedicate a focus to a new feature right now. But I think next week, around the 25th, when our OBS client gets deployed, then we're going to do this again, and we'll be able to pick a new feature at that point. Just to clarify that, the reason we're doing this is that we don't want to only ever be working on new features when there's a lot of stuff, as we can see from this list, that we still need to fix up on the Gamer Center. So first of all, I think obviously the standout choice here is timeline improvements. So we're probably going to go with that, no doubt. But I will do a quick 1 minute vote in a moment just to confirm. But let me just talk about some of the others as well. So number 8, the allow tagging of other users in the stream chat. Yeah, I think, dude, I think that is actually something that I can definitely pick up on my kind of spare time list. So yeah, I mean, it's a really good idea. I don't think it's probably warranting a full dedicated focus time on it, but it's definitely something that I can look into. So just want to address that because I think we had 1 vote for that. So obviously it's something that someone wants, right? What else got 1 vote? So Fitos hit us with 0, 2, 4, and 5. So I think the images, again, that's another kind of quick win. I don't think that needs like a huge kind of development focus, so I can definitely work on that as well. So expect that fix to roll out in the next week or so, or whenever I've got the focus time to spend on it. But it won't take long. So I can definitely do that. Improve the reply system. So number 2 is to improve improve post-reply system, i.e. one-level replies that don't get displayed in personal channel. Okay, I think that might be a bit more than just a couple of hours work. So that might be something that we definitely bring back into the conversation. I'm not sure it would warrant a full week of focus. So the good thing is that if we picked up on something like that, then we might even be able to move through it pretty quickly. But yeah, okay, again, something to start building a base around now while we wait for it to become voted for. Obviously, timelines where you can see everything, probably the clear winner. So I'll talk about that in a moment. And then just to address number 5. So the user's channel tab to contain only posts from the owner. Right. Okay, I see. So right now the channel tab is like a wall, like a traditional old school Facebook wall where anyone can post on it. But it's deliberately just for you, but anyone can post on it. So yeah, I get it. So like a history tab mainly. So just a quick question about that. We don't have to vote on it, obviously, but we can, if somebody wants to just drop in the chat, we don't have to talk up right now. But like, do you think that people should be able to see that? So just like on Twitter, so when we click on the history tab, should that be something that only you can see your history, or do you think that's something that everyone should be able to see? I don't know.
I think
definitely.
Hey, Mark.
I think everybody should be able to see it.
Just trying to add a bit there because it's hard to explain in a few lines there. So I guess that the main purpose of that is to have a wall where people can see the content of who they are want to follow. For example, if you go to Twitter to Elon Musk, you can clearly see all the content that Elon Musk, all the posts that he has made lately. But and especially when we talk with channels where there will be thousands of people, hopefully someday, talking about them and all that, then if you go to visit that channel, you will just see a lot of messages from people that you even follow or people that you don't care about. So maybe it's something that can be put in a separate tab or something to replace the existing one. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I agree. And I think actually, I think we can kill 2 birds with 1 stone here. So I think obviously the winner is number 4, right? So I built a lightweight chat module feature package for our repo. It's kind of a lightweight wrapper around our existing social system. And this is going to go, you're going to see this firsthand tomorrow. It's just super, super simple, right? It's not, you can't add anyone, you can't add content. It's literally just straight text. So although it's not very engaging in terms of for your regular social timeline, it's perfect for these little cheap places like LeetLotto if you want people to talk about in the future when we deploy the ability to create articles on the platform. You can have a comment system. The point is that this little wrapper, although the deployment tomorrow is a very simple kind of example of it, the things that I've built around it is really cool, and it really offers a much more seamless social experience that our current social platform just sucks with these things in mind. So I think there's an opportunity with this timeline improvement that I'm going to work on action number 4. I think it's a good opportunity to actually I may as well just start from the ground up, which might be faster. I know it sounds stupid, but I've already done a lot of the legwork with the work I've done for LeetLotto when I've built this lightweight wrapper. So I think basically what I'm trying to say is that I think when you go into the social power, when you log into the app right now, you go straight to your profile, right? I think actually what it should be is, I think when you log into the app, I think you should just fall straight into the timeline. And then obviously you can choose from there where to go. And I think then the timeline is only yours. Nobody sees that, right? It's only yours. That's your timeline. And it's not just the people you follow, though you should be able to filter it. But then your profile is a separate thing from a timeline, right? I think that's one thing that we kind of made the mistake with. Your profile is your timeline on the GMR Center right now, whereas timeline should just be something that only you see when you log in, you go there, and that's when you just see this stream of consciousness. And then when you go to somebody's profile, yes, you should get that kind of history of that person's social post. So yeah, I agree, and I think I can do it both together. So I don't think it's worth voting on again. Actually, I think it's a resounding number 4. I think we've talked about it enough. So what I would say though is, before we go to the AMA section, is there anything anyone wants to clarify about this, ask about, or suggest, or highlight? Please feel free to ask now. All right, cool. All right, so the time is just gone 10 past. So we will open it up now to a chat till 30:30. So all I ask is that you be respectful of other people, and you can. There's nothing off limits. I'll answer as much as I can, as best I can. There might not always be everything I can answer, but I will do my best. There's no hand raise system. Just if somebody's speaking, please don't talk over them. If you want to chat, please do. I'm going to turn the music up until somebody speaks. And again, just to reiterate, if you don't want to talk, that's totally fine too. You can drop a question in the chat and I'll do my best to answer it too. Okay, so the first question is in. Thank you very much for the question, Phoenixer. So first things first, in terms of releasing more dApps, you see, obviously this is something that we've talked about, myself and Ryan, but my feeling is that I don't think it sends the right message to be releasing another NFT project right now within the gamer ecosystem. I think we need to deliver on the projects that we've already deployed. So I understand that is kind of like a really obvious way to immediately start to try to raise funds. But my feeling is that the optics wouldn't be quite right, and that we've got enough in the project right now that we need to deliver on. So obviously, I'll come to the second part of the question in a moment, Phoenixer. But just to round off this point, we're obviously working on a number of different avenues to utilize the existing NFTs, right? So we don't want to get sidetracked on a different project like that when we strongly believe that there's enough in this project already to just get a few refinements done, like we are doing, like what we're voting on each week, and then start pushing and marketing this properly now to then start to raise awareness of it, because LeetLotto is a fantastic product. The contracts are solid. It's much better than other blockchain raffles out there that are rigid, untrustworthy, don't use verifiable random numbers to pick winners. It's composable. We can do any type of lottery we want. We just have to build out the system and plug it in, because it's pluggable contracts. We can plug in different strategies. So right now there are 3 strategies being managed on LeetLotto. There's ERC20 lottos, NFT lottos, and native token lottos. So we think that there's revenue to be made in LeetLotto, first of all. The Battle Elite Infected game is not a massive amount, but we're generating funds on ads on that. So we can definitely drive up awareness of that more and drive people to it to raise funds. $14,000 is not insurmountable. It's a lot of money, guys. Obviously, I'm not trying to diminish anyone's situation. I mean, even me, I appreciate it's a lot of money. I would love $14,000 in my pocket right now, but for a project the size and scope of GMR, it's not difficult. Like, we're not worried about it. We're totally calm. There's the questions that I'm asking Ryan are not like, hey, so what's going to happen with the game then? It's just, okay, cool. When can I get a meeting? And we have the meeting next week. So, like, in terms of that, that's just what I would say on that. In terms of the Battle Elite game, as soon as it's released, it's playable. All we need is them to integrate the API. I had a good conversation with Fitos the other day. He was a little bit concerned that if people aren't able to earn in the game from the first moment, then people might be feeling disappointed. And this is one thing that I want to try and get across. So the game is basically a front-end client, like basically something that you interact with. So users interact with the game, and the game servers interact with our servers. And what they do is they can get data from us, so they can find out what inventory you've got across all your NFT collections for GMR. They can find out what shards you've got, what scrap you've got, your platform level. They don't know your address that's registered, but they know which address is. They know that an address is registered, so that they can ascribe rewards to you. All they have to do is send a post request to us, which is obviously verified and validated. And that allows us then on our system to pick that up. So a long story short is basically, as soon as the API is deployed, there's literally 0 barriers to start earning right away in terms of rewards, whether it's on-chain rewards that you claim on the platform and stuff like that. But what is super important is all blockchain operations have to be done on the Gamer Center. And that achieves 2 things. First of all, it drives people to the Gamer Center. Second of all, it allows us to keep the blockchain out of the game, and or at least the operations. So we handle the blockchain operations. The game just gives you guys an awesome time. Okay, so another question just come in from Heke Papa. You have to correct me on that, dude, if I'm saying that wrong, because I mean, it's not immediately obvious for me, and I've got, unfortunately, a stupid tongue that doesn't allow me to pronounce everything correctly. Okay, anyway, moving on. So what was the page where we could filter through all the NFTs and see our own, okay, good enough, thanks, dude, I'm glad, see our own and top ones, etc. Is it still live, or is it hard to get live? It was cool to be able to go through them. Are you on about the NFL Explorer? That's, I think, something that Felix had brought up as well, wanting to get that back, where you could see all the NFLs, right? The NFL browser. Is that what you're on about? Yeah, so that was part of the first platform. We never brought it over to the second platform. It's obviously a big mistake. We should have. So that is something that I'm certainly going to do, especially in light of NF Trade going offline. The only way you can see now is you can only see your own collections. So if you go to the Gamer Center, you can see your own NFLs and other GMR items, but you can only see what you have, right? So we definitely need to get that back online. So again, it is a new feature. So next week, 25th, what date is that? What day is that? Is it before or after this? 25th is next Wednesday. So next Thursday, we'll be able to vote on a new feature. So we can definitely bring that back up into it. But just to be clear, guys, like, don't feel like we're going to get stuck because we're only working on 2 things at a time. I'm working on a lot behind the scenes. Like, as I touched on a moment ago, I've already started rewriting the UI, which is my weekend project and evening project. And there's a bunch of stuff that I do in evenings and weekends. In the last 40 minutes before this call, I deployed the delete channel system. So what I'm trying to say is that just because we can't dedicate like a dedicated focus time to, I can still start working on it because I think it's really good. It's a really good product to bring back. And yeah, Frank, NFT swaps and NFL Explorer kind of go in hand. Yeah, I think you're right. All right, we've got about 10 more minutes. If you've got any more questions, I can see Fitos typing, but if anyone else wants to speak up, they can, or drop something in. Okay, so it would be cool if instead of the NFL Explorer, each channel has the ability to link and verify NFT smart contracts, so we can have NFLs, but others could also have their collections visible. Yeah, I think that's totally a great idea. And actually, right now, you can actually verify a contract with your channel, though I do believe that it has to be a verified channel for it to go live. And I'll be honest, I forgot to ask Ryan why the verifications of channels have not started, but let me just write that down real quick. So basically, if a channel is verified, they can add a smart contract as like an official smart contract for their project. So what then we can do then is the logical next step is to start polling from that. If they just give us a bit more detail, we can actually start pulling in data from that. I think that's a good idea. I do think definitely we could do the best of both worlds. You can go to a collection and see them, or a channel, and see whatever contracts they add to it. It doesn't have to be just one, right? GMR has a bunch of contracts, so other projects and channels might. But I do think we should also have a kind of centralized explorer of GMR products. So yeah, we could do both. So Frank is obviously throwing dynamite into the chat. The suggestion being that maybe we should be able to see other people's GMR balances. I think it's. I see you've tagged it. Kidding. Fitos, it would be a good way to push them to pay for verification in the future, so if they want their NFTs there, they would do it, or maybe free to have them visible, but pay if they want to sell and swap. Yeah, I think that's a great upsell idea. I think that's fantastic. I think actually that was one of the reasons why verification is manual. I think there was a suggestion from Ryan in the past that he wants to negotiate with projects who want verification, depending on the size and scope. But yeah, I think that's a good idea. And it could be standardized. It doesn't have to be manual. Obviously, checking over the data needs to be manually done, but yeah. Well, we've got about 5 or 6 more minutes, guys. You've done them in style, and I'm always looking for that. I used to away, so you can explore on your own, so you can make you stay. No worries, dude. It was great to have you. I'm going to give it another couple of minutes, and if we don't get any more questions, I'll probably wrap it up there. But while we're waiting, I'll recap some stuff. So overall, I think the news is positive on the social side. We continue to grow. Again, I have to apologize. I need to figure out a more sustainable way to keep on top of socials. But I have access now to a tool that allows me to allow others to also create content for GMR, so that would hopefully improve it. And then in terms of the rest of the numbers, we need to let things settle down over the next couple of months to actually understand whether the high numbers are an indication that we are doing it right, or whether it's just an indication that we're doing something which we wasn't doing before. Phoenix are coming in with a question. So is anything planned for Gameverse, land claim, or planning? So I think, first of all, we need to just keep in mind that that Gameverse is a feature. It is a new feature. In terms of, there's two approaches to this. First of all, the game devs have spent a lot of time building out assets for the immersive experience of the Gameverse. I have a call with them next week. I can get a more detailed breakdown of where things stand with Gameverse, and then I can obviously ask Ryan in terms of what his general thoughts are in terms of committing to building out the rest of the Gameverse. In the meantime, we have an abundance of interest in the Gameverse, and there are things I can do and I want to do in terms of giving us a kind of more simplified, albeit, but still an engaging experience with Gameverse. So we talked about this in previous calls, but I'll just recap it here. There is an avenue that I can see where we build out a 2D Gameverse, a mobile Gameverse, like a web app, and a mobile access web app. We could even bottle it up and distribute it on the Play Store as well. But it wouldn't be the 3D version. It would be like a kind of, what was the example we used last time? Farmville? Yeah, like a Farmville type game. But it would still be the same. It would still, wherever I build, it has to be compatible with whatever the eventual 3D immersive Gameverse would be. So my opinion is, or at least my feeling is that we could build out the system that allows you to claim your plot. It allows you then to enter your plot and start to plan on your plot from a 2D, like top-down perspective, if that makes sense. And then when eventually the 3D immersive experience is live, those assets, those changes to the plot would still be there. It would be persisted into the 3D immersive game. So I know it's probably not what everyone wants to hear. Obviously, the ideal answer here would be that the Gameverse is front and center on development and that we're working towards it. But what I'm trying to do is understand what we can do now if the Gameverse is not going to be here in the near future. So just to put it in perspective, we reckon it can take maybe another 12 months to 18 months if we was to start engaging on the Gameverse development now. But I can't say whether that is still the case based on, I just need to speak to the game devs first and understand that. Apologies if I'm not being very clear with my thoughts, but essentially we just need to understand where they currently are so that I can give you an idea of how long it would take to develop. And then I think the realistic option is to just build something anyway that allows people to start taking advantage of their NFTs and start engaging in the Gameverse in one way or another. Anyway, I hope that kind of answers the question in a roundabout way. I spent a long time answering that question, so I'll definitely give it an extra 2 minutes if somebody wants to get in a follow-up question real quick. And if not, I can wrap it up there.
So that you leave me alone.
Hey, no worries, no worries, dude. This is something that I'm enjoying. There were some questions last week about when Ryan returns, whether this will stop, and it won't, because I do enjoy it. I think I can learn a lot from this as well in terms of what you guys expect and what you want to see the Gamer Centre become. So I'm super interested in this and keeping it going. So yeah, you don't need to thank me, but I appreciate it. We'll be doing this again next week and every week, obviously, for the foreseeable. There may be times when we rearrange it based on unforeseen events, but all that will be communicated if that ever happens. But in the meantime, look, I really appreciate it. We've just dropped off a couple of people, but we got to double figures yet again on this. And I have no doubt as LeetLotto goes live, we implement those strategies on socials, we continue to build out new features and refinements, we'll definitely see success back on the project. So really appreciate your time, guys. Tomorrow we will be dropping an update to kind of recap what we've discussed today and to frame the conversation ready for next week. I hope you all enjoy the weekend, enjoy LeetLotto tomorrow, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you very much. Thanks a ton. See you next time.